Hey all, welcome back to the Board Game Archives. Our first video to truly blow up was a TikTok over the Five Nights at Freddy's board game, so we thought, why not make a full-length review over it? So what we're gonna do, we're going to explain how we do reviews here, then give you a brief overview of how the game plays, and then we'll get into our full-length review.
Here at the Board Game Archives, we review on 5 different categories: accessibility, replayability, aesthetics, cost, and time. Each category can earn between 0 and 5 stars for a total of 0 to 25 stars. Games closer to 25 are amazing, while games closer to 0 need some work, in our opinion. While this franchise entails many games and books filled with complex lore and storylines, we're going to look at this board game in and of itself just to be unbiased.
Five Nights at Freddy's the board game has 1 or 2 players playing simultaneously as a night guard at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. The job sounds simple enough. Just stay at this pizzeria and watch over it for 6 in-game hours. The kicker, however, is that you'll be fighting for your life as you try and survive against 4 haunted animatronics who are seeking to hunt you down. These animatronics are well known: Foxy the Pirate Fox, Chica the Chicken, Bonnie the Bunny, and the pizzeria's titular Freddy Fazbear. 2-player games will introduce 4 new animatronics, the toy animatronics, that will focus solely on the second player. Now, while these are toy animatronics, they're no less dangerous, so watch out. When playing, cards will be separated into 4 groups of 12 that will be laid side to side, representing a hallway to your office. There are 6 different possibilities for what these cards could be. The top left card is just a normal camera angle. If you ever see this card pop up, there's absolutely nothing for you to worry about. If there's an animatronic card, that means that the animatronic is coming directly towards you. The building you play in only has a set amount of power, and the top right card automatically subtracts 5% from your total power supply, so be careful. The more of these you get, the worse off you'll be. The other 3 cards are called What Was That cards. If the bottom left card emerges from your stack, you must take the next top card and move it down to the very bottom of said stack. If the bottom middle card is drawn, you would take the next available card in the stack it was drawn from and move it forward to the next stack. And similarly, with the bottom right card, you would take the next available card from that stack and move it forward by 2 stacks. Each round, you will draw 1 card from each of the 4 stacks, and you will have an opportunity to react to them. Reacting to a card means that it will not take effect. However, like I previously mentioned, the building you are playing in only has a set amount of power, and you will have to lose a random amount of power depending on how many cards you react against. In any given group of 4 cards, you can react to a maximum of 2 cards. This power depletion must happen, so I will react to the Freddy card and the What Was That card. I will use this dial right here to notate the power depletion card, and then I will use these power dice. They list either 0, 5, or 10% power, and depending on what they land on, you will lose that amount of power. See, I rolled 2 since I'm reacting to 2 cards. And since they landed on a 10 and a 5, I will subtract 15% from my total power. The cards can then be thrown away, but that Freddy card will remain and will be put back into the stack, as he remains a constant threat. Each round represents 30 minutes. Whoever can last until 6 AM with power remaining survives the game. 2-player games have players going simultaneously, so you're taking turns at the same time. If you run out of power, or if an animatronic reaches your office before 6 AM, you lose the game.
Time for our review. For accessibility, we'll be giving Five Nights at Freddy's, the board game, 4 out of 5 stars. We believe that the game is relatively easy to pick up and play, even if you aren't a fan of the franchise, because everything revolves around cards in the game. We hesitate to give the game 5 stars though, because card movements can be confusing to new players, and considering 4 cards will be played at once. A few rounds of the game, maybe 3 or 4, should help players better understand the game's mechanics though.
For replayability, we're going to be giving Five Nights at Freddy's the board game 3 out of 5 stars. The creators of the game did an excellent job making the game very stressful. Having to manage your power while these animatronics are slowly coming at you is a very stressful situation for anybody, really. Our major worry, though, is that the game may be a little bit too repetitive. Each round lasts 30 minutes in-game, and because you go from midnight to 6 a.m., that's 12 rounds. Each round you're responding to 4 different cards simultaneously, and because you're doing the same thing over and over again, that may be a tad bit too repetitive for repeat plays. And so, while the game is fun in and of itself, we just worry about the fact that you're having to do it over and over again. There's no true complexity beyond that.
For aesthetics, we're giving this game 2 out of 5 stars. Hear us out before you click off the video. We consider both the look and feel for game aesthetics. The pieces do feel a tad bit cheap, and we struggled to record clips for this video because the board game can reflect light, and the cards can go flying everywhere if you aren't careful with how they're stacked. For looks, meanwhile, the colors are a bit dull and muted, and while that's the case for the video games, we don't feel that it works well for a board game version. As a result, we felt it necessary to drop the rating down to 2 out of 5 stars.
For time, we're going to give this game 5 out of 5 stars. We can knock out a full game in maybe 20 to 30 minutes, depending on how fast we play each round. And so as a result, we feel that that is the perfect time frame for a game like this. 20 to 30 minutes is very easy to knock out, especially when you have just a few minutes to kill here and there. And due to the game's nature, it's very easy to put down this game, go do whatever you need to do, and then come back at a later time to finish it out. Five Nights at Freddy's, the board game, therefore, definitely earns 5 out of 5 stars for time because of how flexible it can be depending on your playstyle.
For cost, we'll be giving Five Nights at Freddy's, the board game, 4 out of 5 stars. But now that we've touched on the fact that the pieces feel cheap, the game does come in at just about $20. So we feel that the cost is justified based on that. You do get what you paid for.
In total, we argue that Five Nights at Freddy's, the board game, deserves 18 out of 25 total stars. We feel that this game is very repetitive in its gameplay. We also feel that the pieces feel very cheap, and also we don't like the way that the art style was directed. And so we do feel that those really weigh down the overall rating of this game as a result. However, this game is also very fun to play. It's something that you can just pick up and play whenever you feel like it, rather than a game that you're going to come back to over and over and over again. So we feel that this game is best done in moderation. We do plan on doing a gameplay video of this game very soon, so make sure to stick around if you want to see more.